So in this set, he says the fitness index of an athlete is calculated based on three parameters: strength, flexibility, and agility. The score of an athlete is measured on a scale of 8 to 10 for every parameter. An athlete is then categorized based on the final score, also called the fitness index, which is obtained by adding the scores for all the three parameters as shown in the table below. The total score is 1 to 5, then the category would be unfit, 6 to 10 is neutral, and that ways it is given to us. So we'll be giving marks to every athlete on the basis of strength, flexibility, and agility. Those three would be added, and then he would be put into these categories according to that. The 10 athletes are these. The final score of all athletes are in the range of 7 to 19. Minimum score is 7, maximum score is 19. So basically, there is no one who is unfit, there is no one who is exceptionally fit, because no one lies in the range of 1 to 5, no one lies in the range of 21 to 24. After that, the following line chart shows the number of instances or frequency of each score that has been received by all the athletes for the parameters S, F, and A. So it is telling us about a frequency distribution of the scores. What does that mean? That when I talk about strength, which is the green one, you can say one appears three times. Three athletes have a score of 1, and then 2 appears 2 times, then 3 appears 0 times, 4 appears 2 times, 5 appears 0 times, 6 appears 0 times, and that ways for 7 and 8 as well. Similarly, we can find out about the other two as well, about flexibility and agility. After that, he has given us some more information about them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more information is there. So now finally I will move to this table. Now what does this table tell you? Let's talk about that as well once. This table is telling us the frequency of all of these, right? As I just discussed. So I have made this small table here: strength, flexibility, and agility. I'll be writing their scores, then I would not be needing this chart later on. So when I talk about S, so a score of 1 appears thrice. So 1 would be appearing thrice. A score of 2 appears twice. That means 2 would be appearing twice. A score of 3 appears 0 times, but 4 appears twice. So 4 would be appearing twice. 5 appears 0 times, 6 appears 0 times, but 7 appears twice. 7 is appearing twice, and 8 appears once. Similarly, if I talk about flexibility, so 1 appears 0 times, 2 appears 2 times, so 2 appears 2 times, 3 appears 0 times, but 4 appears 1 time, 4 appears 1 time, 5 appears 1 time, then 6 appears 3 times, so 6 is appearing thrice, 7 appears 2 times, so 7 appears 2 times, I'm sorry, 1 time, and 8 appears 2 times, so 8 is appearing twice. Similarly, if I talk about the last score of agility, 1 does not appear at all, 2 appears twice, so let me write 2 twice, then 3 appears once, so let me write 3 over here, 4 appears thrice, so 4 would appear thrice, 5 appears only twice, so 5 would appear twice, 6 appears 0 times, 7 and 8 appearing once. So now this table is sufficient for me rather than having this chart again and again. So now what I have done, I have made this table and that previous information. Let's put all of that in one single page and let's try to figure out what all scores are given to these people. Let's start with these statements. 1. No one received a final score of 8, 9, 10, 12, 18. All other possible final scores were received by the athletes. So as he has already given all of them scored from 7 to 19. But these scores are not possible. So what are the possible scores? 7, 8, 9, 10 are not possible. That means 11. 12 is not possible. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 19. These are the only possible scores. And he says all the other possible scores were received by athletes. That means these 8 scores must have been received by 8 candidates. The other 2 candidates would be receiving scores from these 8 only. Those 2 candidates might be having the same score as one of these, or they might be having different scores, right? I mean, one is equal to one of them and other one is equal to another one of them. No athlete has the same score for any 2 parameters. That means you can't have the same score at strength, flexibility and agility. For any two of them, you can't have the same score. That's the another thing. What next? The final score of two athletes is a multiple of 4 because these are the only possible scores. So can I say one more athlete will have a score of 16? This is the only multiple of 4 and two athletes will be having this score. That means 16 is possible twice. Two athletes have the minimum possible final score, so two athletes will have 7. That makes the total 10 squares, 10 scores. Now I know about all the 10 scores. 7, 7, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, 17 and 19 are the all possible scores with us. Let's start with it now. Let's move ahead. What next? Out of the 4 athletes categorized as very fit, which 4 are very fit? These 4 are very fit. Everyone received the second highest possible score in any one of the parameters. Second highest possible score, which is 7. So everyone has received a 7. Everyone has received a 7 in any one of the parameters. So they might have received 7 in strength or flexibility or agility, anywhere it will be 7. Only one athlete out of these 4 also received the highest score possible, that means 8. So apart from having 7, one person also got 8 in one parameter and gets the highest possible final score. So that means he's talking about this guy who got the highest possible final score. So this person, apart from having an 8, also got a 7. So that means his other score is 4. That means this person has scored 8, 7 and 4. But currently we do not know where 8, where 7 and where 4. Because in all three parameters we have 8, 7 and 4 available. So currently we can't say where he got 8 or 7 or 4. Among these 4, no two athletes have equal scores with respect to each other for all three parameters. So no person can have same score in all three parameters. What does that mean? For example, two people who are having scores of 16, they can't have scores like 763, 763 or 754, 754. They can't have the same score in all three parameters. That's not a possibility. Right? Next, move on. The athlete in the neutral category, neutral is 6 to 10. There are only two athletes in this category, 7, 7. They cannot have the same score in flexibility. Now the point is, two people have got a score of 7, 7. 7 can be formed by only 1 to 4 because you can't have same score in any two parameters. It is already given, right? So I can't have anything else apart from having 1, 2 and 4. I can't write 1, 3, 3 because anyone cannot have the same score for any two parameters. Moreover, anyways, 1, 3, 3 is not possible. 3 is written only once in all the schools. So these two people must have got a score of 1, 2, 4 and they cannot have the same score in flexibility. Now, no one can have 1 in flexibility or agility. So both of them must have got a 1 in strength only. But one of them got a 2 in flexibility. One of them got a 4 in flexibility. The one who got a 2 in flexibility must have got a 4 in agility. And the one who got a 4 in flexibility must have got a 2 in agility. So I'm sure this is clear. So these two people, they have their scores sorted now, that they have scored 1, 2, 4 and 1, 4, 2 in these three parameters. What next? The fifth point. For the athlete with the highest and second highest fitness index, highest is 19, second highest is 17. The score in strength is greater than flexibility, which is greater than agility. So a person having 19 is having scores of 8, 7, 4. They should be in decreasing order. That means he must have scored 8 here, he must have scored 7 here, and he must have scored a 4 here. So this person also knows about his scores. Same is true for this guy, that his score would be in decreasing order. And we already know that this person would be having at least 1, 7, right? Rather exactly 1, 7 in any one of the parameters because we only have 7 4 times. And each one of them should be having a 7. So that means this person should be having 1, 7. And the score should be in decreasing order from strength to this flexibility to agility. So the only possibility is that he get a 7 here. Apart from that, he need a score of 10 more. So 10 more is possible by having a 6 here and by having a 4 here. Please keep it in mind, you can't have 5, 5 because first of all, you can't have the same scores for any two parameters. Plus, they should be in decreasing order. They can't be equal. So the person having 17 have scores 8, 7, 4. The person having 19 have scores 7, 6 and 4. The persons having 7, 7, they are also sorted now. Now we move back to these two people who have got scores of 16. And they must be having at least one 7. So one guy would be having this 7 and one guy would be having this 7 for sure. I hope you are getting my point. So they must be having a 7 in two of them. One person will have a 7 here and one person will have a 7 on the other side. Now, can this person having 7 here, can this person be having an 8 or can that person be having an 8? No, it was clearly written out of the 4 athletes in very fit, which includes these two people, they receive the second highest possible score in any one of the parameters and only one athlete out of these 4 also receives the highest score possible. Only one of them. And that person is already the person with a score of 19. So these two guys cannot have a score of 8. These two people cannot have a score of 8. So apart from this 7, they need a score of 9 more. So if you need a score of 9 more, for this 7, 9 more can be formed is one possibility only. 6 and 3 can make 9 more. That's the only way through which you can make it. Because with 5, you need 4. 4s are not available. With 2, you need 7, but 7 is already used. What about this person, 7? Can he have 763? No, there is no 3 available in strength. So the only possibility for this guy is to have a 7 plus 5, 12 and 12 plus 4 that is equal to 16. So these are the scores for this person as well. They all have been sorted. So now what are the possible scores left? Let's have a look at all the scores left. We are left with 1, we are left with 2, we are left with 2 and 4 here. 1, 2, 2 and 4. Here we are left with 2 and 6 and 8 and 8. And here we are left with 2 and 5 and 5 and 8. Now it is just a matter of some hit and trial that how can we make 11, how can we make 13, how can we make 14 and how can we make 15. You will clearly see that 13 can only be made in just one way. There is no other way through which you would be able to make 13. The only possible way is 2, 6 and 5. You may check that. Because if you take a 1 from here, with 1 I need a 12. A 12 cannot be made by these scores. Just have a look at them. You cannot have 7 and 5. You cannot have 8 and 4. So you can't make 12. So with 1 it cannot be made. With 4 you need 9 to make 13. You cannot make 9 as well because you can't have a 7 with 2. You can't have a 3 with 6. You can't have a 1 with 8. So 13 can be made in only one way, which is 2, 6, 5. So this 2 is also gone from here. This 6 is also gone from here. And this 5 is also gone from here. Now I do not have even a 6 in the middle. Right? Once again, now you would see that 15 can also be made in only one way. How can we make 15? The only possibility is that is 2, 8 and 5. 2, 8, 5 is the only possibility to make 15 because with 4 you need 11. You can't make 11. With 1 you need 14. You can't make 14 because now 6 is not available. So the only possibility is with 2 that you can make 13 and that 13 can be made with 8 and 5. So 2, 8 and 5 they could have made this 15. And now we are left with a 1 and a 4 here, a 2 and an 8 here, a 2 and an 8 here, and I need to make 11 and 14. So one thing is very clear. A 2 and 8 would be taken from here, an 8 and 2 would be taken from here, these two and these two. Now, if 2, 8 goes with 4, that becomes 14, 8, 2 goes with 1, that becomes 11. Of course, they can interchange as well. This 1 can go with 2 and 8, this 4 can go with 8 and 2. So either it is 1 to 8 and 4, 8, 2 or it is 1, 8, 2 and 4, 2, 8. Ultimately 1 and 4 are fixed, 2 and 8 can interchange with them, that whichever way they want to go. So that means now we know that which person has which score. Let's start looking at the questions one by one now. Here is the first question on your screen. So let me just straight away go here. If Q10 gets the highest possible final score, that means this person is Q, then what is her score in the parameter agility? In agility, she must have scored 4. So my answer for this question is 4. If Rabini, who is fit, has a final score as a multiple of 3, a multiple of 3 is only 15 here, then what is her score in parameter flexibility? In flexibility, the answer is 8. The person who scored 3 on one of the parameters belong to which of the following categories? The person who scored 3. So this is the person who scored 3. His score is 16. That person is very fit. If you remember, these 4 people are very fit. So this person belongs to very fit category. What is the total final score of the athletes who received the maximum possible score in one of the parameters? People who got maximum possible score in one of the parameters, they got scores of 15, 19, and 11 and 14 in any order. So ultimately they are 11, 14, 15, and 19, and they all added will be giving you a total of 59. So 59 is the right answer here. And finally, what is the score in strength for the athlete who gets a score of 5 in agility? The person who got a score of 5 in agility, that person must have got, what is the score in strength? So in any of the cases, the score is strength is always 2, as you can see. So the answer is 2 for this question. We do not know the person, but definitely in strength this person has scored 2. So that's the answer for question number 10.